Ever feel like the financial world's stuck on this crazy fast forward, like everyone's got to grab the next big thing before it's gone, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's all about chasing those hot tips.
Exactly. And you're not alone if you feel that way. That's why today we're taking this deep dive into something that seems, well, kind of backwards in this trade everything world. Trade less, backtest more.
That's right. And it's interesting, right? Because it's not just some, contrarian philosophy. This idea is really gaining traction, especially among really experienced investors.
Yeah. It's funny. When I first came across this whole trade less, backtest more thing, I got to admit, it kind of stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah.
It felt, I don't know, almost like a rebel yell in the middle of a Wall Street trading floor. You know what I
I
mean?
get it. Yeah.
So for our listeners who maybe this is their first time hearing this phrase, could you break it down for us? Like, what's the core idea at the heart of trade less, backtest more?
Basically, it's about shifting gears, moving away from that like short-term speculation, like buy low, sell high, that kind of thing, and moving towards a more long-term strategy. It's about really understanding that with every single trade, you're not just, playing for profit, but there's also the potential for loss there.
Right.
So trade less, backtest more, it really encourages you to kind of like slow down, think critically. Don't just go with your gut. Base your decisions on, cold, hard data.
Okay, so trade less. That makes sense, right? Less reacting emotionally, less chance of getting swept up in the hype. But what about this backtesting part? That's where it gets kind of complicated for me. It's like, are we building a time machine for our portfolios?
Well, kind of. Imagine, right? Like being able to test drive an investment strategy before you even think about putting real money down. That's basically what backtesting lets you do.
So instead of just crossing our fingers and hoping for the best, backtesting is like, what, taking it for a spin is a safe environment?
Exactly. You practice, you learn, you refine. It's all about minimizing risk.
That's such a good way to put it. Okay, but let's get practical for a second. For someone who's never actually backtested before, what are we actually doing here?
Okay, think of it like this. You wouldn't overhaul your whole diet based on one amazing meal, right? You need a plan, something that works long term, aligns with your goals. Backtesting is similar. You take your investment strategy, whatever that may be, and you basically plug it into historical market data.
Okay.
And you see, how would it have performed? Did it weather the storms, those big market crashes? Did it make the most of the good times?
So we're not predicting the future, but we're getting a glimpse into how this strategy might handle different situations.
Got it. Now, you keep mentioning a trading strategy. What exactly does that mean, and what are some examples? Sure. So a trading strategy is basically like a set of rules, right? It's what guides your decisions on when to buy and when to sell. For example, you might have a strategy based on like technical analysis. So you're looking at charts, patterns, indicators, that sort of thing.
Right.
Or maybe your strategy is based more on fundamental analysis. So you're digging into a company's financials. How healthy are they? What's their growth potential? Backtesting, it lets you put these rules, these strategies to the test. See how they hold up against real historical data.
So trade less, backtest more. It's not about just throwing darts at a board and hoping something sticks. We're becoming more like what? Like financial architects, right?
Yeah.
Carefully planning, stress testing our
I
moves.
like that.
Anything else our listeners should keep in mind as they, maybe start to explore this approach?
I think the important thing to remember is that the goal isn't to find that one magic strategy that would have made you a millionaire overnight, right? It's about finding those strategies that consistently deliver solid performance over the long haul, through good times and bad. And really importantly, making sure that whatever strategy you choose, it aligns with your risk tolerance and your financial goals.
Trade less, backtest more. It's simple, but man, is it powerful. It could honestly change the way we think about a lot more than just investing, don't you think? Thank you so much for this deep dive. It's been eye-opening.
Absolutely. And remember, being a successful investor, it's not about chasing every single trend. It's about making those informed, carefully thought out choices, those choices that are going to get you closer to your long-term goals.
So here's a little something to think about this week. If trade less, backtest more can be so powerful when it comes to money, where else in life could this apply? Choosing a career, relationships, maybe even deciding what to eat. Food for thought, right? Until next time, keep those brains engaged. And remember, sometimes the smartest move is the one you don't make.